Welcome back everyone to the earnings breakdown. Today, we're digging into the numbers from Eternal Limited, the company many of us still know as Zomato. They've got their fingers in quite a few pies: India food ordering and delivery, quick commerce with Blinkit, B2B supplies via Hyperpure, and the going out experiences platform District.
That's right. And they've been active, completing the acquisition of the movies ticketing and events businesses from Paytm, held under OTPL and WEPL, back in August 2024. So fair bit happening beyond just food delivery these days.
Absolutely. So they released their results for the fourth quarter and the full financial year ended March 31st, 2025. These were approved by the board on May 1st, 2025. The quarterly results are unaudited, while the full year results are audited. We'll be looking at both the consolidated and standalone figures today.
Correct. The auditors, Deloitte Haskins and Sells, have given an unmodified opinion on both the consolidated and standalone results for the full year, which is generally a positive sign. However, they did include an emphasis of matter paragraph, which we should definitely discuss later.
Good point. Let's kick things off with the consolidated picture first. How did the top line, the revenue from operations, look for Q4 and the full year? Give us the year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter comparisons.
Okay, starting with consolidated revenue from operations for Q4 FY25, it came in at 5,833 crore rupees. That's a very strong 64% increase year-over-year compared to the 3,562 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Sequentially, compared to Q3 FY25's 5,405 crore rupees, it's up about 8% quarter-over-quarter.
64% year-over-year growth is quite impressive. And how about the full year?
For the full financial year 25, consolidated revenue stood at 20,243 crore rupees. That's a significant 67% jump compared to the 12,114 crore rupees they reported for FY24. So strong growth momentum maintained throughout the year on the revenue front.
Now let's talk profitability. The shareholder letter mentions adjusted EBITDA. What did that look like?
Right, the company highlights adjusted EBITDA in their shareholder letter. For Q4 FY25, consolidated adjusted EBITDA was 165 crore rupees. Now, this is actually a 15% decrease year-over-year compared to 194 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Sequentially, it's a sharper drop, down 42% from the 285 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
Revenue up strongly, but adjusted EBITDA down year-over-year and even more quarter-over-quarter. What's the story there?
The company attributes this mainly to accelerated investments in expanding the quick commerce store network for Blinkit. They added a record 294 net new stores in Q4 alone. While this impacts near-term profitability, they see it as crucial for future growth and market share, especially with intensifying competition.
Okay, that makes sense strategically. Let's look further down the P&L. What about profit before tax, or PBT, on a consolidated basis? How does that compare year-over-year and quarter-over-quarter?
Consolidated profit before tax for Q4 FY25 was 97 crore rupees. This is down 40% year-over-year from 161 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Quarter-over-quarter, it decreased by 22% from 124 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
And the full year, PBT?
For the full year FY25, consolidated PBT was 697 crore rupees, which is a substantial 139% increase over the 291 crore rupees in FY24. So the annual picture for PBT looks much better than the Q4 trend.
Interesting divergence between the quarter and the year again. What about the bottom line, profit after tax, or PAT?
Consolidated profit after tax for Q4 FY25 came in at 39 crore rupees. That's a significant drop, down 78% year-over-year from 175 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. Sequentially, it's down 34% from 59 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
And the full year PAT?
For the full year FY25, consolidated PAT was 527 crore rupees. This is up 50% compared to the 351 crore rupees reported in FY24. So again, positive annual growth but a weak Q4 performance.
This definitely highlights the impact of those Q4 investments. How did this translate into earnings per share, or EPS, for the consolidated entity?
The basic consolidated EPS for Q4 FY25 was 0.04 rupees. That's down 80% year-over-year from 0.20 rupees and down 43% quarter-over-quarter from 0.07 rupees. For the full year FY25, the basic EPS was 0.60 rupees, which is up 46% from 0.41 rupees in FY24.
Got it. Was there anything significant in other income this quarter or year?
Yes, consolidated other income was quite substantial. In Q4 FY25, it was 368 crore rupees, up 57% year-over-year and 46% quarter-over-quarter. For the full year FY25, it totaled 1,077 crore rupees, a 27% increase from FY24. This likely includes treasury income given the large cash balance they hold, especially after the QIP.
Okay, that covers the consolidated side. Now, let's switch to the standalone results for Eternal Limited. How did the revenue look there on a YoY and QoQ basis?
On a standalone basis, revenue from operations for Q4 FY25 was 2,192 crore rupees. This represents a 20% increase year-over-year from 1,824 crore rupees in Q4 FY24. However, sequentially, it saw a slight dip of about 1.5% quarter-over-quarter from 2,226 crore rupees in Q3 FY25.
And the full year standalone revenue?
For the full year FY25, standalone revenue reached 8,617 crore rupees, marking a 30% increase compared to the 6,622 crore rupees in FY24.
What about standalone profit before tax? Any exceptional items impacting this?
Standalone PBT for Q4 FY25 was 649 crore rupees. This is a strong 64% increase year-over-year from 396 crore rupees. Sequentially, it's up 13% quarter-over-quarter from 574 crore rupees. There was an exceptional item noted in Q4, an impairment loss of 8 crore rupees related to Zomato Local Services Private Limited due to the closure of its hyperlocal delivery service.
And for the full year on standalone PBT?
For the full year FY25, standalone PBT stood at 2,190 crore rupees, a solid 59% increase over the 1,372 crore rupees in FY24. Total exceptional items for the year were 11 crore rupees, including the 8 crore in Q4 and another 3 crore impairment related to Zomato Financial Services Limited earlier in the year. This compares to a 39 crore impairment charge taken in FY24 related to Zomato Payments Private Limited.
Okay, and the standalone profit after tax and EPS?
Standalone PAT for Q4 FY25 was 575 crore rupees, up 45% year-over-year and 16% quarter-over-quarter. The basic standalone EPS for the quarter was 0.63 rupees, up 37% year-over-year and 12.5% quarter-over-quarter. For the full year FY25, standalone PAT was 1,960 crore rupees, a 43% increase YoY, and the basic EPS was 2.22 rupees, up 38% YoY.
So the standalone entity seems quite profitable on its own, even more so than the consolidated picture in Q4.
That's right. The standalone entity, which likely represents the core India operations excluding some subsidiaries, shows robust profitability. The consolidated results are clearly being impacted by investments and performance in subsidiaries, particularly the accelerated expansion in the quick commerce segment, Blinkit.
Let's talk margins then. How do the profitability margins look, comparing consolidated and standalone?
On a consolidated basis, the PAT margin for Q4 FY25 was very low, around 0.7%, reflecting those heavy investments. For the full year, it was about 2.6%. The adjusted EBITDA margin, as a percentage of the newly introduced net order value or NOV metric, was 5.2% for food delivery and negative 2.4% for quick commerce in Q4. On the standalone side, the PAT margin for Q4 FY25 was much healthier at about 26%, and for the full year, it was around 23%. This really highlights the drag from the quick commerce investments on the consolidated bottom line currently.
Any significant shifts on the balance sheet we should be aware of, consolidated or standalone?
On the consolidated balance sheet as of March 31, 2025, total assets stood at 35,623 crore rupees, up significantly from 23,356 crore rupees a year ago. Total equity attributable to owners jumped to 30,317 crore rupees from 20,413 crore rupees, largely driven by the 8,500 crore rupees raised via the Qualified Institutional Placement or QIP during the year and retained earnings. Investments, both non-current and current, are substantial, totaling over 13,000 crore rupees. Goodwill also increased significantly to 5,737 crore rupees from 4,717 crore rupees, reflecting the acquisitions. The standalone balance sheet shows significant investments in subsidiaries, valued at over 24,000 crore rupees.
And the cash flow situation from the consolidated statement?
Looking at the consolidated cash flow for FY25, cash generated from operations was positive at 426 crore rupees, though down from 751 crore rupees in FY24. Investing activities saw a large net outflow of nearly 8,000 crore rupees, driven mainly by investments in mutual funds and bank deposits, the acquisitions costing about 2,000 crore net of cash acquired, and purchase of PP&E. Financing activities brought in a net inflow of just over 8,000 crore rupees, dominated by the 8,500 crore QIP proceeds, offset slightly by lease liability payments. The closing cash and cash equivalents stood at 666 crore rupees, but bank balances and other liquid investments are substantial, leading to a total cash balance reported in the shareholder letter of 18,824 crore rupees at the end of March 2025.
Okay, let's dive into the segment performance based on the consolidated results. How did the different businesses fare in Q4?
Sure. India Food Ordering and Delivery revenue was 2,054 crore rupees in Q4 FY25. Its segment profit was 439 crore rupees. Hyperpure, the B2B supplies business revenue was 1,840 crore rupees, posting a small segment loss of 8 crore rupees. Quick Commerce, Blinkit revenue hit 1,709 crore rupees, but its segment loss widened significantly QoQ to 82 crore rupees, up from 30 crore rupees in Q3, reflecting that store expansion drive. Going Out revenue was 229 crore rupees, with a segment loss of 44 crore rupees, possibly impacted by the transition to the District app and acquisition integration.
The shareholder letter also mentioned a split within Hyperpure and introduced the NOV metric. Can you elaborate?
Yes, the Hyperpure business now has a significant non-restaurant component, primarily B2B sales to sellers on the Blinkit marketplace. This part grew over 150% year-over-year in Q4 and is near break-even adjusted EBITDA. The core restaurant supply business grew around 35% year-over-year with negative 3% adjusted EBITDA margins. The company also introduced Net Order Value, or NOV, which is gross order value minus discounts. They feel this is more relevant, especially for Blinkit, where MRP can be much higher than the selling price. For Q4 FY25, total B2C NOV grew 53% year-over-year to 17,440 crore rupees.
Okay, so summarizing the performance and context, strong consolidated revenue growth for the year, but profitability took a hit in Q4 due to Blinkit expansion. Standalone remains robust. What else did management highlight?
Management acknowledged the food delivery growth slowdown in Q4, attributing it to sluggish demand, a temporary shortage of delivery partners due to high demand from quick commerce expansion across the industry, and competition from quick delivery of packaged foods. They also delisted about 19,000 restaurants for hygiene or listing quality issues, which impacted volumes but was deemed necessary. They are shutting down the Zomato Quick and Zomato Everyday initiatives as they didn't see a path to profitability. They expect quick commerce competition to intensify further.
Now, crucially, let's talk about the auditor's report. You mentioned an unmodified opinion, but an emphasis of matter. What was that about?
Right. Deloitte Haskins & Sells issued an unmodified opinion for both consolidated and standalone annual results. This means they believe the financial statements give a true and fair view in accordance with accounting standards. However, for both sets of results, they included an emphasis of matter paragraph, drawing attention to Note 5 of the consolidated results and Note 9 of the standalone results. This note details the goods and services tax, or GST, demand orders received from Maharashtra and West Bengal authorities, totaling about 420 crore rupees, plus potential interest and penalty related to GST on delivery charges for the period October 2019 to March 2022.
And what's the company's stance and the auditor's view on this?
The company has filed appeals against these orders and, based on external expert advice, believes it has a strong case on merits. Therefore, no provision has been made in the financial statements. The auditors highlight this uncertainty in the emphasis of matter paragraph, but explicitly state that their opinion is not modified in respect of this matter. It simply means they want users of the financial statements to be aware of this significant uncertainty, the ultimate outcome of which depends on the appeal process. They also mentioned their reliance on the audit reports of other auditors for certain subsidiaries and the ESOP trust, which is standard practice in consolidated audits.
Okay, so no qualification but a significant uncertainty highlighted. What's the outlook based on all this? Remember the standard disclaimer, folks.
Disclaimer: investing involves risks. Please consult with a certified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. The outlook seems mixed. Growth drivers are clearly quick commerce expansion and potentially the going out segment post acquisition and app transition. Food delivery growth needs to recover. Hyperpure's non-restaurant business is scaling rapidly. Profitability at the consolidated level will depend heavily on managing Blinkit's expansion costs and navigating competition. The QIP provides a strong cash buffer for investments and growth. Key risks include the outcome of the GST litigation, intensifying competition in quick commerce, execution risk on store expansion and acquisition integration, and any potential slowdown in consumer discretionary spending impacting food delivery and going out.
Great analysis. So to sum up, Eternal Limited closed FY25 with strong annual consolidated revenue growth and improved PBT and PAT compared to the previous year, boosted by a large QIP. However, Q4 showed pressure on consolidated profitability due to aggressive investments in Blinkit's expansion. The standalone business remains highly profitable. Key events include the Paytm ticketing acquisition and the introduction of the NOV metric. The auditors gave a clean opinion but highlighted the significant GST demand order uncertainty.
Precisely. It's a company in transition and investing heavily for growth, particularly in quick commerce, which is impacting near-term consolidated profits but potentially building a larger future business. The GST issue remains a key monitorable.
Fantastic insights. That's all the time we have for today's breakdown of Eternal Limited's results.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in.